welcome into Core Values, the All Things Broken Arrow podcast. And we have a special episode today. A couple of Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation members joining me and Mr. Chuck Perry, our Superintendent of Schools, here on the studio set. The first thing I want to ask you is to introduce yourselves and to tell us a little bit about your story joining the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation and what it is you do day to day. We'll start with Mrs. York here.
All right. I joined the foundation 9 years ago, partly because I had children who went through this district and I wanted to be involved in that way. Fast forward, I now substitute at the high school, so I'm still pretty engaged with the district, and I did a lot of PTA volunteer work through the years. So being on the foundation helps me stay connected to the school district.
You're being a little humble. You did some PTA work. Let's expound on that a little bit more.
I did a lot of PTA work for the district. I was the PTA council president for 5 years. And then my daughter now is a high school English teacher for the district. So you just cannot get rid of our family.
I love it. Love it.
Ms. Knappen, let's turn it over to you.
Hi, I am Samantha Knappen. I'm the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation Manager. I was hired on about 2.5 years ago. I was looking for a position that would bring me closer to home as my daughter was getting old enough to join school, and found the opportunity with the foundation, and it was just a pretty amazing fit. At the time, it was exactly what I was looking for, and the hiring committee says that I was who they're looking for.
Well, you guys have a great mission over there that you guys are tackling each day, and your core mission, you have a statement actually, but I know you have a core mission statement, but how has that evolved since 1992 when you guys were founded and became the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation? Ms. Knappen, I'll let you turn that over to you.
So I don't actually have a record of the original mission statement with me today. I believe that the mission statement was basically to support the Broken Arrow schools by supporting the teachers. We do know that the very first program was teacher grants, and that was the only location at which the money fundraised went to. So supporting the teachers, they knew, was a key component in supporting the whole school.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's still in place, and that's still a foundation of what you do. No pun on words there, foundation. But you've also expanded to so many other things beyond that now.
That's what I wanted to say when I first joined. That was our purpose. We had a golf tournament, and we raised money for teachers in the classroom. And in the past 9 years, we've expanded with barbecue and bingo, other fundraising events, but also we're giving more back to students, which I love. I mean, I want to support the teachers, of course.
Absolutely.
But there's just a lot more activities and events that we can support for the students, which brings me great joy.
Yes, so our mission statement now is a little more encompassing. The mission and purpose of the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation is to enhance the educational experience of our students for success in life.
Okay.
Awesome. And you're doing that by those grants you're giving to teachers to go to classroom instruction.
Yes.
And when that happens, our students win academically and in all sorts of ways. Can you talk about maybe some of your favorite grants that you've been a part of that kind of stick out in your mind?
One of my favorite ones was just last year, and it was for a science teacher that was doing DNA sampling. And I asked a lot of questions about that because that could get a little much, you know? And he assured me that, no, it was not that kind of DNA sampling. But I thought, wow, high school kids are getting to do, I mean, I would think they would think that's pretty cool, and something outside of the norm that they would find in their science books. So I thought that was really exciting.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For me, my favorite one so far was a special education pot of teachers requested bows and arrows for special ed students, and I called and talked to them one-on-one after they had won the grant. I'm not part of the voting committee, just in case anyone was confused. So I called and talked to them afterwards, and they were like, yes, what we love about it is how many things just this one activity will teach our students: balance, focus, math, physics, like the idea of arcing and shooting. And so it was just amazing to see how they were taking an activity that students would be excited about trying to get better at, to teach so many different things that might be a little difficult to conceptually conceive from books.
Well, I'm glad you jumped in with that question because I kind of have to ask you guys about your feelings after that happens, right? You're able to reward those grants. There's got to be a conversation in the car ride back to the office, right? When you have those moments. What's that like when you get to have that moment of giving over the grant and being able to see the teacher's face light up, being able to know that those students are going to be rewarded?
The teachers are always giddy. They're always very excited, which makes us really excited too. So that the discussion afterwards is sort of like, we feel a little bit like Santa Claus, and we time it so that it's around Christmas, and so it's fun. It's really fun to give away something to someone who needs it. I mean, to make their classroom experience better.
Yeah, like it.
Well, you have programs that you guys are involved in helping operate, right? With the Read to Succeed, you've got JA BizTown, Project Graduation, Operation Aware. That's just a few of them, right?
Yes.
Can you walk us through how one or two of these programs specifically support student growth?
So I'll say BizTown. When my kids were in 5th grade, they went to BizTown too. They were the CEO of Arby's.
Okay.
And the CEO of Bank of Oklahoma. They were very busy people.
Yeah.
But I got to go volunteer when they went to that. And those kids learned how to write checks, which I guess might be a lost art today. But they learned that. They had the experience of working with a budget and working with people. And to see that real life experience is something that kids don't get a lot of. And so it's so meaningful to me to be able to be part of a group that's still supporting that and giving them that opportunity that they might not have otherwise.
Yeah,
That's great.
Are there any programs that stand out to you, Samantha?
I am a big proponent of Read to Succeed. It's amazing how literacy in our country is what it is, and it can be so much more. Being able to read is such a foundation for every subject. And so I find that engaging students' excitement on reading at a young age can only help them in their future with all levels of education.
Definitely. I actually went to BizTown probably that same day because I'm in the same class as your daughter. And I just told this story to our friends behind the scenes that I was a reporter that day. And
Yes.
it
That worked
became
out well.
full
And
circle
look at you
that that's
now.
what I did. So you
Was your
never
day
know.
to you?
Yeah, I went around and I asked probably your daughter how her job was and how much she liked it, those sorts of things.
Funny.
But I really enjoyed that day. And I know that those days have impacts on students because I can still remember it now when I'm 25 years old. So it's definitely something that you guys do on a day-to-day basis, but it's something that means a lot to students that stands out over years. So with that said, I want to talk about the Teacher of the Year and everything that you guys do in supporting those initiatives. It's another form of recognition that you all provide. How does honoring educators in this way influence both them and the broader school community? Samantha.
Yes. So, of course, recognition. First of all, they put their heart and soul into their classrooms every day, and we see the effects of that not only from excited students coming to spend time with their teachers, but their peers see it as well. And this is Teacher of the Year is, of course, peer-based, and they go through processing. And as the foundation, we want to make sure that we're providing our level of support and encouragement to those teachers who are giving of themselves on a daily basis. So we provide a monetary donation, a monetary gift to each of the winners, and then it increases as it goes up the chain for the top winners. And we find that we want to make sure that our school is successful. If we want success for our students in life, we want success for our school while they're here. And one of those things is retaining in drawing in and retaining good teachers, people who are passionate about what they do, and just excited to continue to give to our students on a day-to-day basis.
And just to add to that, what you spoke about, the retention part and even the recruitment, nobody puts on a Teacher of the Year banquet like Broken Arrow Public Schools. We really, I think, have taken it to a different level in regard to honoring that profession and the best of the best of our district. We have about 1,600 teachers, certified teachers in the district, and being able to honor, what is it, like 33 of them that night, it's a big deal. And you all contributing to that, saying that we value you as a educator, and I think that's been a little bit lost in the over the years in America. And so that's something we can capitalize on, and you all play a big part of it. And nothing's more important than having a great teacher in the classroom. I keep saying it over and over. You can spend a lot of money on programs and equipment, but unless a great teacher is there to deliver day in and day out, true academic growth is not going to ever happen at the pace as the impact of that classroom teacher.
Well, I'm glad we have you here, Mr. Perry, because I'd like to also kind of ask you about working alongside the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation and what that relationship is like going through the day-to-day with such incredible team by your side.
I think that's been the beauty of it, and it's got us to where we are today, is that relationship. I think it takes a strong partnership. I think we both need to listen to one another, and we need to make sure that we're aligning with your goals as a foundation and align with your fundraising efforts, and making sure we're both on the same page to promote different things. The foundation is a separate entity than Broken Arrow Public Schools. It is, your position, your role is not funded by Broken Arrow Public Schools.
That's true. And
so it is a partnership between the two organizations, and I just think that open line of communication has been huge. I think they have done a great job over the last couple of years that I've been superintendent of getting the right members in place, board members that not only are bringing a business and or education expertise to the board, but they all seem to be aligned with having the right heart for students and wanting to make an impact. They're not there for the power, prestige of serving on the board. They're there because they're humble individuals that want to give back. And so that's where I've seen it really blossom. And I think with your work that you're doing, and that's been evident in what you've done with the couple events we've had over the past couple of years, it's really paying off. And I just want it to keep going, keep churning out.
Yeah, we really do have a great board of directors. Mm-hmm. And you say hardworking people. Mm-hmm. This is a working board. Nobody shows up and checks a box. Right. They show up and they chair committees, and they show up to events and do the work, move the chairs, mm-hmm. stamp the books, go to the schools. Each board member is a liaison to a school location. And when something's happening at that school, I call them up and say, hey, this is happening at your school. And they're like, oh yeah, let me tell you the details. So
awesome.
We, or if there's going to be a ribbon cutting, I'm like, hey, your school, let's go together. Yeah. And we want to know what ways in which we can be helpful, because we are here to work to promote and encourage the schools district.
You touched on the great events that the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation puts together, the golf tournament, the barbecue and bingo. How much do those events help with advancing your mission and with getting your mission out there for the general public to see?
So our special events are definitely for a purpose more than just one. Yes, we do fundraise. We bring in money, but also it's an awesome, and I don't want to get too technical here, this is a term that we use in the field of fundraising, but it's an on-ramp. It's an opportunity for people to get more involved in what the foundation does and how the foundation supports the school by showing up to an event and eating barbecue and playing bingo and winning prizes, but you're also seeing other people in the room. And Superintendent Perry spoke for a couple of minutes on the partnership of the foundation and the school district and how we are working together to make it keep it a great district, make it better each year. And those on-ramps give people the opportunity to show up in a casual atmosphere. They're not walking into a boardroom, sitting down to a meeting or anything, but they're saying, I'm interested. I want to know what you're about. And then I'll decide how I can get involved, whether it's volunteering or making a donation or
serving on the board, because we do have a good time.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the beauty of our community as a whole, of how many people do donate their hard-earned money into those events, and they take part. They bring team members. It's always a night where I get to meet a lot of people in the Broken Arrow community that I might not have known that they were big supporters of the school district. So I think it's important that we continue to do those and bring in new people and get them plugged in.
Talking about that support, you were able to fundraise $94,000 from barbecue and bingo. I want to make sure I got that right. $94,000. That's a lot of money. What strategies helped you achieve that milestone, and then how are you reinvesting those proceeds?
Those are two very different questions.
I'll say Samantha is part of the answer to the first question. When I first joined the board, we did not have an employee. We were all volunteer-led, and volunteers can only do so much. And then we hired someone part-time, and then 2 years ago,
2.5 years ago,
we brought Samantha in, and recently she's become a full-time staff member, and that has helped us tremendously increase that giving amount at the fundraisers, and she can really put her focus there and help us guide us where we need to be to do what it is that we want to do. So I would definitely answer that first one with a lot of it is Samantha.
Thank you. When I was being interviewed to being hired, and then we were chatting after, one of the key focuses that was decided was that one of the things I'd work on was awareness. Making sure that people in our community know that there is a foundation for the school district and ways in which you can get involved. So just like I was talking about earlier. So some of the things that I did put my focus in, and that does translate to the fundraisers, was getting the word out, working with the communications department of the school district, and getting flyers and social media and on the website. It wasn't that they didn't want to do that. I think, though, there just wasn't that information available. So having information in a centralized location, like somebody can call me and ask me about the finance committee meeting and Read to Succeed at the same time. So I have those details in one spot, and that's really helping us to get the information spread across the whole town. So yes, awareness and drawing in new groups of people. So like you said, there are businesses in town that want to donate to the school, and they've found the foundation, or retired teachers, they know about the foundation. But one of the things I've tried to focus on are alumni and parents of students. Being a parent of a young student, I'm getting those opportunities to just show up in places where kiddos are invited and start talking to people. Sometimes I have my name tag on, sometimes I don't. But joining those Facebook groups or whatever it looks like, but creating an awareness has definitely added to our base of donors, supporters, people who are interested in giving. So you mentioned that we did raise $94,000 this past year. The year before, we had increased from the year before. We keep jumping. It's amazing. We're increasing all of our fundraisers by 10,000, 15,000. One year it was 18,000. So those efforts are definitely showing up. People are becoming more aware of the foundation. Board members have the materials at their fingertips that they can share with people. Maybe they say, "Hey, yeah, I'm part of this foundation, and I'll help you get involved." But then they get an email from me with a link to a PDF flyer. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I just talked to so-and-so the other day. So I'm going to forward this on to them and hit them up 2 or 3 or 4 times. And then they really remember that we have a foundation.
And that's, we all stand on shoulders of giants and people that were before us. And you think back to those original board members of the foundation not having somebody, and they were doing it all on their own hard work. And there's too many of them. I see a lot of faces in my mind right now. I'd hate to leave somebody out, but I do want to give credit to them of their vision back in the 90s, and I'm sure they feel proud to see where it's grown today.
Absolutely. I overheard someone saying this today about our current president, Charlotte, is able to put some things into action because Jenny started it, the president before her, or Frankie before her, or Sharon before him, or, and Russell and Hazel still serve as active members. They're founding members of our foundation, and they still serve as active members of that. And I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
How much does that impact what you guys do, having people who have been around the program for such a long time, been around the foundation since the beginning to now? How much does that help you on a day-to-day basis?
It helps a lot because sometimes we say, Hazel, what happened in years before we had a
2018.
Google Drive? And they've just got a wealth of knowledge, just institutional knowledge of how it began. And they tell us if they like how it's going now or if they do not. So I would say largely they do.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, we've talked about how much money's been brought in, but not specifically what we've been able to put in the classroom and to push out?
So this year we are going to be able to fund 6 programs. Last year was 6 programs. The year before was 5. The year before was 4. And so the more we're growing the foundation in awareness and bringing in fundraising, we're able to spend more on our programs and increase them to new areas. So as we've mentioned, the teacher grants, last year we did award $31,700 in teacher grants to 62 educators.
Wow. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to skip next to our other teacher focus. So Teacher of the Year, we did spend $15,000 in monetary awards to Teacher of the Year. So the foundation right now has decided that one of the best ways to utilize our money is to fund a program across an entire grade. And so let me give you those examples. For Project Graduation, the foundation is the top sponsor at $10,000 to make sure seniors are having a fun and safe graduation night, which we think is pretty awesome because we get to see their pictures and they're having a blast. Our 5th graders get to attend BizTown at no charge, which, if you know how much it costs, that no charge thing definitely helps to even the playing field.
Right.
All students get to attend BizTown, whether or not their parents could, foot the bill, because the foundation said, we think this is important. We spent $47,500 last year on 1,400 5th graders to attend BizTown.
Wow.
It's incredible.
All 7th graders last year, 24-25, got to be part of the very first Operation Aware 6 presentations in their classrooms. That cost was $10,000 to the foundation. And if you're not aware of Operation Aware, if you're not familiar with Operation Aware, it is a very, very neat organization. They took DARE, they took all of those programs and just made them fine-tuned for today's age. It's not just, hey, don't do drugs and alcohol, but also make purposeful study practices. Be aware of who you're talking to online. Make good choices in what you say, even in private places, because that information may get out and hurt somebody's feelings. Anyways, I think it's an awesome program. So all 1,400 7th graders got to attend 6 Operation Aware presentations. And then we are at the Read to Succeed. So Read to Succeed is in its 5th year. We're starting its 5th year right now. And what we do is all the money fundraised specifically for Read to Succeed goes into Read to Succeed. It doesn't go into the main BAPS Foundation reporting. And we are able to provide 4 brand new Scholastic books to every second grader. All 1,400 second graders take home 4 new books that have a stamp on it that says this book belongs to, and they can write their name in it, and it's from the foundation. And we are encouraging them to read all summer long. We want them to know that these books belong to them. Read them, swap with your friends, get your book back, take it with you on vacation, sit in your room when you're bored and read it. So we work closely with the teachers to make sure that all of those books are on the specific reading level for the students. As you can see, this is one of my favorite programs. And so we make sure that the book is not too hard for them to read. It's not too easy for them to read. And it does take a lot of operations effort for us, but we think that it is so very important. Last year, we spent just under $12,000, and we bought 5,600 books. We stamped every one of them. We organized them. We put them in bags with the teachers' names on them. And then, like I talked about, liaisons, our board members took those books to the school where they're creating a relationship with the principal, and we're able to get those books to the kiddos. And it's again like we get to be Santa Claus in May.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about my own perspective, but as a student going through Broken Arrow Public Schools, the project graduation was one of my favorite nights as a student. And knowing that Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation had so much to do with that, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And that's something that you guys are doing behind the scenes and almost doing it without recognition. That really speaks volumes about what you all are doing for those seniors. But then I got to do a story on the students getting the books for the summer in the Read to Succeed program, and their faces just light up when you guys walk in there with the books. Half the time the teachers are telling them, you're going to get 4 books, but they don't register they're getting to keep the 4 books. Yeah. So then when they find out they get to keep them, it's a whole nother ball game, So from my perspective, I just think it's really incredible what you guys are doing. And I've been able to be around some of it, but I haven't realized how much of it is going on in front of me. And it's you all that are making it happen. So that's a credit to you all for pushing so many things out there for these students to find success, whether that be through reading in the summer or through just having a fun and safe evening after graduation. So definitely a credit to you guys there.
Thank you.
Now,
So there was one thing that you asked earlier, and I don't think that we answered it to its fullest extent.
Okay.
We do have 2 major fundraisers. We have our golf tournament, which is coming up on October 13th. It'll be at the club at Forest Ridge. We do still have spaces open for sponsorships and teams. Then also we do in the spring, in June, our barbecue and bingo event. But we also have smaller fundraising opportunities. If you're not a major company and you can't buy a whole table, we get that. Right now we have our Tiger 10. It's on our website. And we encourage anyone who has a tiger in their household to donate $10 for each tiger. Jane still does it. She's got 2 tigers at home. They're not still in the school district, but... Then we also have our Read to Succeed program, which doesn't have set levels like the golf tournament or the barbecue and bingo. And then, of course, you can donate anytime on our website, which is bapsfoundation.org.
Excellent plug there.
Thank you. Follow us on social media. We'll tell you when our upcoming fundraisers are their dates and everything. Coming up soon will be our teacher grants, and you can watch on our Facebook page. We do want all of our teachers to apply if they have an awesome idea that's not already being seen to through other channels. So our teacher grants are available for sending in applications right now. That'll close at the end of fall break on October 20th. And after that, we will start our Read to Succeed campaign in February.
Well, following up on the teacher grant applications, what's that process like for a teacher? Simplify that in case they maybe see the link, but they're not sure what to do from there.
Sure. Go ahead. Okay. So for our teacher grants application, it is one of the only applications that will not go through your administration office. Teachers will come to the bapsfoundation.org page. There is a link at the top that says apply for teacher grants. When you click on there, you're going to have some information on that page, but then it takes you to one more link after you've read through the info, and you can start putting in your name, what school site you're at, and then we ask for the title of your grant, the idea behind your project, what important educational requirements will this meet or align with? What are the supplies that you're asking for? What vendor are you asking for? We do have some requirements if you are asking for something that has to do with IT. We want to make sure that that's signed off on. If you're trying to install something in the building, we have to have that signed off on. So all of those details are pretty well previewed in the first page before you get to the application.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in here. Do you have any last thoughts, Mr. Perry?
No, just want to say thank you so much for your partnership. And again, we want our relationship to be strong. And when that happens, again, kids win. So that's the only thing I anticipate is things getting better and better each year.
Absolutely.
Best is yet to come.
That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Well, thank you guys both for coming up here,
Thank
Miss
you.
Samantha Knappen and Miss Jane York. And of course, Mr. Chuck Perry for joining us on the
Enjoyed
Core
it.
Values podcast as well. Make sure to check your emails. That's where you may find this podcast. Also on YouTube, ArrowVision.tv, and anywhere else you find your podcasts. Until our next one, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.